Hey guys, Matt Wicker at Chatley Marine, and today we're going to take a look at the 2026 completely redesigned Gamefish 25 by Sea Hunt Boat. If you're in the market for a serious offshore boat and demand a fishing platform that's capable for these offshore adventures, but also has a family who wants to enjoy comfortable cruises, sandbar hopping, and creating lasting memories on the water, stay tuned. This boat may be for you. My first impression of the new 26 model is that this thing is massive. It really looks like the boat grew 2 foot. I know it didn't, I know the measurements don't lie, but it looks massive. It really looks like a baby 28. You can see it's a lot taller off the trailer. I'll do some measurements there to give you some exact figures, but and I'll try to list out now kind of all the things that I've noticed change from 25 to 26 to give you a list of the changes and the upgrades. But hull changed, the entry changed, it's a lot taller boat. Changed the side entry door side, changed a lot of the interior elements, but I'm very excited about this boat. I've got a lot of my customers who've been waiting on this to be released to pull the trigger. So if you're looking for a 25 foot, I don't think you're gonna find a better value than this. So stay tuned, let's kind of get started with the walkthrough. Before starting the walkthrough, I do want to quickly run through some of the specs. The boat has a length overall of 25 foot 8 inches, a very wide beam of 9 foot 2 inches, shallow draft of only 19 inches, a dry weight of 6,100 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 145 gallons. Climbing in the boat, we'll start at the bow. And with the cushions removed, the very first thing you'll notice is just that there's a massive amount of space up in the bow of this boat to work. Whether you're casting, throwing cast nests off the bow, bottom fishing, whatever you're doing, there's a ton of room up here. Storage-wise, there are dual 148 quart insulated fish boxes on the bow, and like always, they do a great job with their fit and finish. You'll see a gasketed door, fully finished interior, stainless steel latches, stainless steel gas assist shocks, stainless steel through bolts, and it is lit, so it's going to keep everything in there cool and dry. Everything Sea Hunt does drains overboard, so I'll try to pan down into this box. So that's going to drain outside the boat, not going to get anything skunky in the bilge area. Same thing on the starboard side, an additional 148 insulated bow storage fish box. And then in the floor, you've got some additional storage. I'll pan down. You've got 120 or 140 quart in-floor storage, 5-gallon bucket, of course, lifts out. Great place if you're catching bait, kick them down in there. There's a bucket holder, some accessory holders as well down there, but just a very, very well laid out bow area. Doors, everything again is gasketed, finished off, stainless steel latches that can be adjusted so you don't get any of that rattling if you are beating and banging offshore. One thing I want to point out on this 25 that's a little bit different than past years is just how wide this bow area is. I mean, I'll step back so you can kind of see this flare, but you can really tell there's a massive amount of flare. And if you are working, you know, just look how much room there is on the gunnels. So you've got dual rod holders in the bow of the boat on each side, one cup holder rod holder combination, one rod holder, massive oversized cleats, a through hole windlass is standard with bow controls, Lumar windlass, plenty of room in there. Everything's very, very well laid out. Again, great fit and finish. Same thing on the starboard side, massive pull-up cleats, rod holder, and then cup holder, rod holder combination, just a little bit farther back, and of course the pump out for the head area. I do want to point out some of the fit and finishes while we're up here. Everything has its own drain system, so you'll see cup holders here You'll see the drain just below it. Same thing for the rod holder here. Drain just below it. The reason for that is if you're going to leave this thing on a lift on a trailer, they want everything to go to the floor or overboard. They want as little going to the bilge as possible, and they do a great job with their plumbing in these boats. So if you're fishing just a massive bow area, this table, I'll point that out in just a second. It is new for 2026. This in-floor electric table will come up. So if you want a full casting platform, let's see if I can get that up to show you that. With the table in the up position, it can be used as a filler cushion, which is a great option if you're throwing cast nets or fishing off the bow of this boat. Really makes it feel like a bay boat. It's a huge platform up here. For safety, if you are working, you're not going to have to worry about if you step back and putting your foot down in this hole and having an accident. And it's super sturdy. I'm 250 pounds ish, and you know, I'm not recommending having dance parties up here or anything like that, but it's a very solid feeling, and just a great addition if you're doing some nearshore fishing, casting, bottom fishing, or throwing for bait. All of this is the Gamefish series, which is primarily focused around fishing. Sea Hunt does a tremendous job making it super versatile. So for guys who have a family, they're boat riding, want a serious offshore fishing boat, but still have some family and friends they want to do some island hopping, boat riding, hanging out, with the cushions installed, you can just see how versatile this boat is. You got fully contoured backrest that install. I'm 6 foot tall. I've got plenty of room to stretch out. If you really want someone to see the Sea Hunt difference in any of their boats, have them sit in the bow of the boat compared to any of the competition. It's deeper, wider, more comfortable. You can tell it was purposely built. It wasn't just like, hey, let's put a cushion here and see if it works. They built this thing for comfort. Full wraparound cushions. The table, new for 2026, kind of mimics the table from the 28 and 30, what was so popular. Kind of raises up out of the floor. Great place to entertain, have snacks if you're island hopping, hanging out. Super comfortable. Again, the upholstery, this is the optional tan upholstery, but very, very comfortable. You can tell the quality with the thickness here. Piping looks really good on it. Again, all the Sea Hunt logos are stitched in. So we'll pan to the front and let you see that. But plenty of room up here to sit 5 or 6, maybe even 7 adults if you're counting the cushion in front of the console here. But again, cup holders throughout the boat. I do want to point out a few more things about this table. When the table is lowered into the flush position and the bow filler cushion is installed, you got a huge sun deck up here. Perfect spot for napping on the sandbar. If you got little kids that want to take a nap while they're boat riding like mine. I got a 6-year-old, and if he gets the wind going and gets tired and hot, he'll fall asleep in a heartbeat. That'd be a great spot for somebody like that to lay out and hang out. But again, they've thought through everything, and this table with this cushion is removed. This table will continue to lower down to the floor, and so just opens up that walkway. So I'll show you the table flushing the floor as this goes down, but they've thought of everything in this 25-footer. As that goes in the floor, I do want to point out speakers. We'll talk about the stereo system in just a second, but it does have 2 color match gel audio speakers in the bow of the boat and our zones. We'll talk about that in a second as well. With storage right here, this is a little entertainment tray, so you can see there'll be a wine bottle opener that comes with it that goes right there. But just a great storage area here. You can put utensils, anything you don't want sliding around the bow of the boat. But really thought through this bow area. And although this is a fishing boat, you couldn't tell it if the cushions are installed. Taking a look towards the stern, you will see there's a huge seat in front of the console. Plenty of room for 2 adults to sit comfortably. And I do want to point out another thing. Just look how much room, walking room, is on either side of that console. When I'm standing up here, that's one of the first things I notice is just, again, how much room is in the boat and how tall the sides are. That you can really tell that this boat is much larger than last year's boat. Again, if weight says anything, it's about 1,000 pounds heavier than last year's, so 20% heavier. So you can really tell that looking back in the boat. Continue to move back towards the stern of the boat. I do want to point out just how massive these recessed rails are. They run all the way to the cockpit. So if you are in some rough water, want something to hang on to, you got a rail system that runs all the way to the cockpit area. Massive oversized cleats at the midship. Fuel fields on the port side. Additional flush mounted rod holders, and you got plenty of room to add additional ones if you want. Cup holders, again, perfectly placed, and a second rod holder, cup holder combo there. The bolsters do run full length, so you'll see those bolster pads or combing pads run the entire length of the boat, and that's the same for both sides. Move over to the starboard side here. Again, full length combing pads. Under the deck here, there is a tow hook. So if you're going to be gaffing fish, that's a nice thing. You stick your toe under there and kind of give yourself some stability. And it's the same thing on the port side. On the port side, there are in-gunnel rod racks as well. And one of the biggest changes and most requested changes for 2026 is the in-floor fish boxes. And you'll have two of these. Kind of mimics, again, this is very similar to the very popular 28 and 30 foot Gamefish series. So you're going to have dual in-floor macerated fish boxes, 200 quart for each side. They're massive fish boxes, again, 200 quart insulated macerated. They are gasketed, lipped with drains. So they've done a tremendous job with the incorporation of this into the floor of the boat. And that's one reason the boat got a lot taller off the water, I think, is because they had to make room for these boxes. And same thing on the port side here. Stainless steel latches and just massive fish boxes in the floor. So added 400 quarts of in-floor storage with these macerated fish boxes. So huge change for 2026. They're always on the move and listening to customers and making those changes that you guys want. Continue to move to the stern. Again, you'll see a completely redesigned transom area for 2026. They have incorporated, I was looking on Sea Hunt's Facebook page and saw 4 or 5 people that commented, when are they going to bring out this fold-away seat for the 25 Gamefish? Well, here it is, full-length bolsters. Really gives you access to the back of the boat and opens up. I don't know if you can tell, but this is a massive area right here. So plenty of room to work 2 or 3 people in the transom of this boat. Again, these bolster combing pads around the entire transom area. Still have the walk-through door. I'll show you that in just a second, but they do incorporate the seat. So another nice feature here. Storage. This opens up. You've got a little storage box in here, and that pulls out. So you do have access if you're trying to work in there. If you want to use some additional storage, you can use that too. But walk-through door, if you're pulling in a fish, easy walk through here. There is a freshwater shower located right on the transom here. So if you're rinsing off, climbing in the boat after hanging out in the water, kids want to get that grit off them, anything like that. But just for fishing, just look how much room is back here. You also are going to have a big live well here. You got a 27-gallon transom live well. It is aerated. There's an LED light in here. Aquarium style with a see-through lid. Again, gasketed, lipped. See an embossed logo. So they've done a great job opening up this transom area. On the days that you aren't fishing, doing some family stuff, boat riding, island hopping, things like that, again, I want to point out that incorporated rear seat in the walkthrough gives you an additional seat there. And then the new seat here is a huge benefit. I'll open that up. One of the complaints about the older seat is that it was very small, shallow, not very comfortable. Didn't give customers very much room for their butts. It was probably maybe 8 or 10 inches wide at the most. This is probably close to 2 foot. So plenty of cushion underneath you. You're going to feel safe when you're riding back here. Backrest is taller also. This is going to give you some more support for your back. And then additional speakers back here as well. While I'm here, I'll also point out the drainage system. These are flush mounted drains. A lot of boats are using a little half moon shaped drain, and they'll have one drain to bail a huge boat like this with a lot of surface area. Sea Hunt, you'll see, has dual drainage ports on both sides. Additional JL audio system here. I like the fact that they have opened up this for mechanics. One of the common things that customers add to this boat are rod holders all the way across this back deck, and that gives our guys easy access to get in there and work. Same thing on the starboard side. You'll see additional speaker, mood light, those drains we mentioned, and then I also want to point out the lazarette. The lazarette is a big change. Also, you're not working through a real small area. Pumps, everything is well laid out. Everything's labeled, easy access. Just look how much room there is down here. Easy access to your through-hole transducers. If you're winterizing some of the raw water systems, easy access to those. Changing fuel water separators on some of the competition's boats that I've looked at. You've got to be a contortionist to get in to change filters, change pumps, bilge pumps. All the through holes, I want to point out, do have, if I can get there, valves. So if you have an issue offshore, you can shut off all the water that's coming in the boat. So you're not having that, and then you can fix the leak once you get home. But everything's nice and finished off in here. Again, just stepping up their game with the fit and finish. Everything's drained. Nothing's going down to the bilge area, if at all possible. Before moving towards the console, I do want to point out a few things I noticed just standing back here at the back of the boat. Number one is just look how nice of a job they do with their rigging. Everything is encapsulated, super nice and neat, with the electric steering that's standard on these boats, fly-by-wire shifting throttle, no random cable just hanging out everything. Same thing on the port side, easy access to pumps through these massive doors in front of each engine. Sea Hunt logoed reinforcement on the transom. And this is a massive area back here. Again, throwing the cast net off the back of the boat, there's still plenty of room. The camera's getting hung up there, but plenty of room to work on the back of this boat. Grab handles. That's your freshwater fill right here. Grab handles on both sides. If you're kind of climbing up the ladder on this side, and I'll point that out in a few minutes, but you've got two grab handles, one on the side and then one right here as you enter to pull yourself up on. So it makes it really easy to get on and off the boat. That leads us to the side entry door, which is standard on the 25 Gamefish. Really, all their boats over 25 foot. And this is a two-piece. So this top piece is going to open up and fold away like that. And then the bottom door, you'll see there's a magnet there that'll catch. So if you're offshore, it's not going to be swinging around. Catches right there. And that's a massive door. That door is probably 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches thick, and looks to be 18 or 20 inches tall. The two-piece door is really nice. We have some other manufacturers that incorporate a side entry door, but the door is a one-piece, and so even though there is a door there, you still have to step up and over and down into the boat off the dock. By incorporating that two-piece door, really makes it nice. You can step right into the boat, and as tall as this boat is, you can still run down the water as long as it's not super rough without having water gush come into the side of the boat. I also want to point out another really common option, and that's a side entry ladder. Sea Hunt incorporates this. It's a great feature if you're island hopping. You can keep the kids away from the motor. You can sling that thing over the side and climb in and out with ease. So you'll have a side entry ladder mount here, and of course the ladder stores under the console, and I'll show you that in just a few minutes. For the console seat, the standard seat is the Ultra Lean Post Live Well. It does have an aquarium style bait well. I'll show you that now. You've got a Sea Hunt embossed lid here, stainless steel latches and hinges, and these are the friction hinges which they use on most of their storage boxes. So when you open that up, it'll stay. You don't have to have a shock or anything holding it up. You can see there's an LED light in here. It's rounded live well, 35 gallon capacity, and it does have the aquarium style. So if you got kids or even me, got bait in there, it's fun to look at that while you're boat riding. Rod holders mount on the back of the seat, and these are powder coated. They'll be color matched to whatever powder coating choice you do on the T-top. Of course, there's gloss black, matte black, and white. Nice touch with a bottle opener here. Every boat's going to need that at some point or another. Storage. Open this up here, and you've got a nice tackle center. You've got Plano boxes that slide out, stainless steel ball bearing trays with dividers, 2 of those, knife holder, on the door. And again, everything is gasketed so you're not going to get any rattling when you're going down the water. On the port side, additional storage. I'll open this up. See if I can get my camera to cooperate. Additional plier holders, knife holders on the door. And then, of course, Plano box storage. Additional storage in here. And one thing we've started doing for guys who want to add subs and additional trolling motors, batteries and stuff, you can pull this box out. Camera's really not cooperating. You can pull that box out, and great place in between those two boxes to add a battery or subwoofer, anything you want. You got a massive amount of room that's open access right here, and you can get in behind that box and put things that you don't need quick and easy access to a lot. As for the seating, you do have very comfortable contoured cushions, dual bolster design, so if you're sitting, you've got an armrest that'll fold down, cushion that goes underneath your bottom, gives you a very, very comfortable ride, sits you up tall enough to where you can see over the console, and they are independent, so if your wife wants to sit and you want to stand, you can have one flipped down, one flipped up. Very comfortable, hits perfectly against your back. Again, attention to detail, polished stainless steel. Footrest that folds down, so if you do have short legs, your feet aren't just going to be dangling. And they also, I'll show on the console how they've incorporated a second footrest, but they do a great job with this setup. And there are a couple of other seating options, but this is what we sell on probably 99% of them. So a great option, super comfortable. Again, you can get the white upholstery, which is standard. This is the tan, and they also make a gray, and all of those have the option of the deluxe diamond stitching as well. Taking a look at the console, they always do a great job with their layout. That acrylic dash panel looks really good. The boat is standard with a 1243 XSV Garmin. This boat has dual, but it's standard with a single. This is a high-end unit. It's got all the cartography for the entire continental United States built in, freshwater and saltwater. It's going to be paired with a Garmin through-hole transducer. Sea Hunt is a premier installer, so when they install your unit, you can get an additional warranty. So instead of just a 1-year warranty, you'll get an extra year on factory installed components. And of course, it's paired with the Garmin VHF radio, and all that's networked together. So if you were to get in trouble offshore, you've got a little distress button right here you can flip up, and that will send your coordinates straight to the Coast Guard. But it also comes with an 8-foot antenna. So single 12-inch Garmin, standard, Garmin VHF radio standard. The boat is standard with a 4-battery system, and I'll show you that management system here in just a second. 2 house batteries and two cranking batteries. One of the biggest changes from last year to this year is the switch layout. They used to use plastic toggle switches, and they had just white writing on them, but the white writing, if you cleaned it a bunch of times, would kind of come off, and you couldn't see what those switches did at night. And now you can see how everything is backlit. It looks really good. You can easily tell which switch is on by the light you can see here. But very well labeled. Recirculating's aft and start and midship. You'll see the head discharge, port fish boxes, starboard fish boxes, controls for your windlass at the cockpit, tables. You'll also see standard with a 12-volt plug here and a USB audio charging port. The Gamefish 25 did get a stereo upgrade, so you're going to have a Media Master 105 head unit, 6 speakers. You'll have 2 in the bow, 1 on each side, 1 in the stern on each side, and then of course you'll have 2 up in the hardtop. And new for 2026 also, if you did black powder coating, then these speakers would be black grilled as well. So wireless phone charger just above that as well, so you can set your phone there and keep it charged while you're using it. But another thing I like about it, I don't know if we'll pick up any music in here because we're in a big metal building, but these zones are really nice. You can kind of hear the music where you want to hear it and not hear it in other places. So you've got a zone 1 in the bow, zone 2 behind you, zone 3 above your head. Just a nice feature where you don't have to blare the stereo to hear it. So if you want to hear it above your head, you can just turn that zone on, and then if somebody in the bow doesn't want to listen, they don't have to hear it. But great layout here. They've also changed the color of the matting. So it used to be all gray. Now if you do brown upholstery, the matting and the seat deck inserts here will match. And of course, if you did white or gray, it would be the gray. Cup holders perfectly placed at the console. All the Gamefish series are fly-by-wire, shifting throttle, and electric steering. It also is standard with the Yamaha CO5 touchscreen display. So it gives you all your engine information. It's touchscreen, so you can slide it across. And you can also pair that with the Garmin in front of the captain. So all that's going to be networked together from the factory. Tilt steering is standard, and with electric steering, I mean, you can turn it effortlessly. That's one of the big advantages of the electric steering. Some boats will have hydraulic and then power assist. This is true electric steering, so you can adjust how many turns you want it lock to lock through this gauge here. You can see here the friction. You can set up the trim assist. You can really adjust it to your preferences. And another big advantage of the hydraulic or the electric steering over hydraulic is there's no hydraulic lines running through the engine. So you can see here, everything is built into the motor. So, which has been that way for several years, but that is a nice feature of the all electric steering. Moving down the console a little bit farther, you will see this is something that everybody comments on, especially females. When they're sitting in this seat, their feet's dangling. They've got a second footrest right here, which is really nice. It's comfortable on your feet. Storage box, and then they changed this for 2026 as well. C-deck step pad, where in past it was a starboard piece or plastic piece. Looking up at the top, again, the switch panel was changed up here as well, so you can see everything's labeled: forward spreader, aft spreader, courtesy lights, and windshield vent. These courtesy lights will light up the mood lights right here on the top. And while we're on the mood lights, this boat is loaded with mood lights. If you go, we'll turn on all these switches here: cockpit lights, courtesy lights, livewell lights, underwater lights. So you've got courtesy lights on either side of the console. You've got mood lights throughout the boat, so you'll see blue mood lights here, there. You can see the reflection of the mood lights on the floor here, but they're tucked away under here. There's also mood lights, and this thing is just really cool. It looks really cool lit up at night. I hate doing this video during the day, but can't see them really good. But livewell lights, and then if you look at the reflection on the floor there, you can see the ocean LED underwater lights as well. So lots of light and just a lot of cool features on this. And talking about a cool feature, this is another one, this mister system. So you'll see these spray nozzles. There's one there and there's two located on the back of the boat. That's a really cool feature too. If you're out there like a day like today, it's 100 degrees in North Carolina, if there was water in there and I could spray this on me, it would really cool me down. It doesn't get you wet, it's just enough to kind of hit you and evaporate off, so it cools you down. It's also got an electric actuated windshield vent, so you can open this thing up. This is controlled by this button right here, and that will really funnel that wind through the boat. So hot day really keeps you cool. And then of course, you want to close it, same thing, just press it down. And you'll also see the waterproof breakers perfectly placed beside every switch. And that's a really nice feature, because if something's not working, you don't have to chase down a fuse. You can just push the breaker back in. Compass is also standard on all the boats. Looking at next I want to look at the hardtop and show you a little bit about that. Moving on to the hardtop, the first thing I want to point out is how everything is integrated into the console. This top is flush mounted, and that really frees up this walkway. so you can see how much room you have to move about the boat. A lot of hardtops, you know, there's a gap of about 2 inches here, and then you got the hardtop, so you lose about 4 or 5 inches of walkway throughout the boat. Sea Hunt integrates theirs. It is a D-tubing, so it's reinforced, stronger. You've got grab handles galore running up the whole top. 4 rod holders mounted off the back of the top, and this one has the optional kingfish rod holders on either side. You'll also see the LED spreader lights that are going to be placed on either side, and there's one in the front as well. This is color matched. This looks really good. It's color matched to the exterior hull color, but you could also do white. The only color they won't do under the hardtop is the really dark color, so like the ash color. They won't allow you to do that for 2026, but I've had a couple customers order the ash hull color with the silver gray undertop, and it looks really good. Glove box, this is a new feature about 2 or 3 years ago. Great storage box, just a place to put a billfold, keys, stuff you don't want sliding around. Before, this was just a wasted space, and they have changed that to the storage box, which is really nice. Glass enclosure is a great feature. This is tempered glass, not acrylic. They tried acrylic for a few years and had some issues with that cracking. People were using certain cleaners. This is tempered glass, so this is very similar to what you'd have in your car. And it is replaceable if for some reason you damage it, but do a really good job. If you do the black powder coating, it kind of blends in perfectly with that. On the front of the top, you got your second spreader light, and I want to step back and see if I can get, because this is a really massive top. It's going to give you a lot of shade while you're on the boat, but it doesn't interfere with any of your fishing. So it's not overly wide, but it gives you plenty of shade. Taking a look in the console, got a very big opening here, so you know, I'm a bigger guy. Again, I have no problem getting down this console. I'll actually get in just a second and show you. But very well laid out. Porcelain head with overboard discharge and macerator. There's an LED light for this. It's kind of that blue mood light again. The switch is tucked away. If I can get a picture of it here on the side here. But again, talking about electrical layout, look at this electrical panel. It's labeled awesome. Breakers are not hidden. They're right there in plain sight, so you can see if it's tripped. Everything is labeled, so again, you're not chasing down some random fuse or breaker. Everything is located right there together. Easy to figure out what's going on. You can see T-top power, trim tabs. Battery system, you do have 4 batteries standard on the boat, so 1 for each engine and then 2 house batteries, and you do have the ability to combine those. So you know, if you get out there and you go to start the boat, it won't start, you can combine them and use all those batteries to get that engine going. This was added last year. It's a nice feature, great place to hang stuff up, vest, bag, anything you want cluttered in the console. Stainless steel side entry ladder that stores, this boat just came in, but it stores right here, and there's a clip that holds it in place. Batteries store all under the console and the floor. I peeled that back so you can see where they go, but easy to change out, access to. If you do need access to wiring, there's a door here that opens up. There's another feature that our mechanics use a lot. This front panel here, right here, comes off. So if you're trying to wire and you don't want to climb in the console, you can pull that off and have easy access to everything. But additional storage on the door, mirror inside there, storage here, and then of course you've got a shelf here, and there's a net that sits on top of it so you keep things from sliding around. It's a great place to put bags, coolers, anything without cluttering that cockpit. And I am going to step down in here just so you can see just how much room there is. So I mean, again, I'm 6 foot, 240, 250, and no problem getting in this console. And they've just done a really good job making it look really nice too. All fiberglass. It's not a ton of matting in here, so they've done a great job with the console. Taking a look at the transom, very first thing you'll notice is the power of this boat is the twin 150 Yamaha XSBs in the white color. Looks awesome. with pretty much any color choice you choose. Boat standard with 150s, they do a phenomenal job. I haven't had a chance to run the 26 model yet. This is the first one that we got in, but after speaking to the factory, they're excited about the performance. You will notice that they changed the hull. If you look back here at the back, you'll see that little, if I can get my finger there, the flat spot. They used to do that on all their boats. It was called a vortex hull, and what it did was get less aerated water to the prop, got cleaner water back there, and the more water you can get to the prop, the more efficient the boat will be, faster, turns better, handles everything. So that was a nice change for this year. You'll also see the oversized cleats, massive cleats. You'll see the power match, so that shows you that they're using everything that Yamaha recommends to make sure you get the maximum life out of your engine. Huge trim tabs that are pocketed and recessed into the hull. Right there. Dual ocean LED underwater lights. These things are super bright, look great in the water at night. That's a standard feature. As far as the ladder goes, they did keep the same ladder system, that dive ladder. So you'll pull a pin, this slides out, falls down, and then you have steps that fold down to allow you to get back in the boat. And of course, grab handle here, and then also here as you walk through that transom. And pointing out again, that's new for this year as well, the transom freshwater shower, so you can rinse off before climbing in the boat. If you don't like the dive ladder, the standard, or don't want to use that, the side entry ladder is also a very common option. Pretty much put that on every boat we sell, and makes it very easy to get back into the boat off the sandbar. One last look at the 2026 Sea Hunt Gamefish 25. If you're in the market for a new Sea Hunt or any other center console, before you make a buying decision, please give me a call. Matt Wicker at Chatley Marine. My personal cell is 910-930-1803. Or you can call the dealership at 919-775-7259 and ask for Matt Wicker. Call me before you buy. I'll definitely be able to save you some money. Love to speak with you, answer any questions you may have, and try to save you some money in the process. So thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day.